Hello, everyone. Today, Gracie, Bethel, and I will be doing an example of a lesson in a second grade math class utilizing the language acquisition theory of behaviorism. Before we actually get into the lesson, I would love to just take a second to explain what behaviorism is and how we can be able to see this theory utilized in a classroom. Basically, behaviorism is the theory that behaviors are affected by outside stimuli and can be controlled and estimated. Now, when we look at the example regarding Pavlov's dog, that's a very common, popular example of behaviorism. This is an example of conditioning where someone can be able to act or do something based on a stimulus, but that can also happen when a stimulus is not there. For example, regarding Pavlov's dog, Pavlov was able to make the dog salivate just by the sound of a ringing bell and not actually physically seeing the treat that is what the salivation came from. Now, when we take this theory into education, we can look at praise and positive feedback as reinforcement when students answer a question correctly or when their behavior is good. And this type of positive reinforcement is what will cause students to continue to behave well or know when they get an answer correct. And we really want the students to be able to know what the expectations we have for them are and why it's important that they do a good job on their education, a good job on their school. And behaviorism is super important in this, and behaviorism is how students will be able to learn what is good for them and the routes that they're supposed to take in order to succeed. So, specifically in this example of a lesson in the second grade, we will be placing a huge emphasis on positive reinforcement, positive feedback. We want to be able to congratulate students on their job well done. We want to congratulate them for giving correct answers, even just for participating. That is also super important so these students can be able to feel more motivated and feel more comfortable in the environment and in the work that they're doing. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get right on into it.
Good morning, friends. It's Miss Bethel and Miss Bierke here today with a math lesson. Did we all have a good weekend and a good start to our day? I love to hear that. I'm super excited for today. We have lots of fun learning to do. But before we start, I want us all to have a chance to shake out our wiggles. Does that sound good? So everyone stay seated and quiet, but please raise your hands up to the sky. Stretch real big. Now shake your hands. Shake your arms. Shake your bodies. Wonderful. I am so happy we had the chance to get out all of our wiggles for the day and we were able to come back as a quiet, polite, quick manner. Let's go over our objective for the day. Does that sound good? Do I have any volunteers who would like to read this for us? Yes, Maxine, thank you for offering and raising your hand quietly. Will you read the objective up here on the board to the class? That was great, Maxine. Thank you so much. Today, we will be learning and identifying what the value name is for each number and a three-digit number. We then will use this knowledge to compare two different numbers and identify which ones are greater than or less than, or even equal to the other numbers. Put your finger on the tip of your nose if you're ready to start this lesson. Let's get started. Miss Bierke is going to kick off our learning for today, so I'm going to pass it on to her.
Okay, class, perfect. Thank you all so much for being so respectful with Miss Bethel and following her directions. You guys are amazing. We really do have the best class, in my opinion. Okay, so before we actually get into the lesson, I would love if everyone could take out their pencil and their notebooks. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys 10 seconds. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Perfect. Okay, everyone has their pencil and notebook. We are ready to go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some words up on the board. Okay? Okay, perfect. So here on this list, we have a lot of words. Now, before we get into this, I would love if everyone could raise their hand if some of these words sound familiar. Yeah, okay. I was hoping some of them would sound familiar. Do you guys remember yesterday how we talked about digits and different place values, and how some of these place values can include the hundreds, the tens, the ones? Yeah, perfect. Okay. Well, I'm super glad that you guys remember that. So, what we're gonna do, first of all, does everyone have these words copied in their notebook? I want to make sure everyone has them copied. Okay, perfect. We're gonna get rid of these words, but they're going to come back. So, if anyone has any questions, last chance. Okay, excellent. Okay, so up on the board, I have a number 365. So, if you guys remember from yesterday, each number has its own little house, right? So, what we're going to do is we're going to put different letters to represent the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. Now, when we look at number three, we can see that number three is in the first spot. So any number in a three-digit number that has that first number in the first spot is going to be in the hundreds. So I would love if everyone could write down the number 365 and put an H underneath three to represent hundreds. Okay. And then, hey, look who's next to me. It's my neighbor, number six. So if we go one step lower from the hundreds, we will reach the tens. So I'd love if everyone could put a T to represent tens. Okay. And then who's the neighbor of number six? It's number five. So if five is next to number six, that must mean that five is in the ones place. So we're going to put an O to signify ones. Perfect, you guys did amazing. Now, we're going to go ahead and do another example and another quick little review so that way we can make sure that we have this glued down. Okay, so could everyone write the number 486 in their notebooks? Excellent. Okay, so just like before, we look and we see who's in the first spot. It's number four in the hundreds house. So we're going to put an H to signify the hundreds. And then who's the neighbor of number four? It's number eight. So if number eight is the neighbor of number four, then we know that number eight must be in the tens place. So what letter are we going to put for this? T. Good job. Okay. And if we go next door, we see number six is there. So if six is the neighbor of number eight, then we must know that number six must be in the ones place. So what letter are we going to put on right underneath number six? Oh, good job. Okay. Now I would love for each of you to do an example that I'm going to put up on the board, and I want you guys to solve this individually, and then we're going to go ahead and review our answers. Okay, so the number that I'm going to have each and every one of you do is 746. So I'm going to give you guys about 15-20 seconds so that way you guys can be able to solve this problem on your own. Okay? Okay, 10-second warning. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, does anyone need more time? Looks like we're all done from what I can tell. Okay, perfect. So, who can tell me what place does number seven live? Michelle? The hundreds. Good job. So, what letter are we going to put there? An H. Excellent job. Okay, now who can tell me where does number four live? Josh? The tens. Excellent job. You are amazing. So what letter are we going to put underneath number 4? A T. Wonderful job. Okay, and lastly, we have number 1. Now, who can tell me where number 1 lives? I know this one might be kind of hard. Jada, where does number 1 live? In the one spot. Good job. And what letter are we going to put underneath him? An O. Excellent job. Okay, perfect. So, does anyone have any questions before we move on about this review? No, looks like we're all set to go. Perfect. Let's go on over. Okay, so up on the board, I have some new words, some new terms. And can anyone read these terms out loud for me? Okay, Dylan, go ahead. Yes, greater than, less than, and equal to. So I put some little symbols here so that way we can understand what these symbols mean. Now, greater than is what we use to say when one number is larger than another. Less than is what we do to show that one number is smaller than another. And equal to shows that two numbers have the same value. Notice how I put some little symbols here. The greater than is going towards the larger number. The less than symbol is going away from the small number. And the equal to is an equal sign. So that means they're the same. So today we are going to be learning about how and when to use these terms with their signals because the signals are very important. Okay. So before we actually start, I have a surprise for all of you. Today, Miss Bethel and I have a friend that is going to help us learn about these words and symbols. This is Allie the alligator. Now, can everyone hold up their hand and make a sign kind of like Allie is? Good job. Now, Allie the alligator is super hungry. And what do animals do when they're hungry? They open their mouth like this. Amazing. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to be learning how each of our own Ally the alligators can help us solve some problems. And we're going to be able to fill her belly so she will be happy. Does that sound like a challenge we're all up to? Perfect. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and get right on into it. And Miss Bethel is going to take over.
You guys did a fantastic job with Miss Bierke. I feel very confident that we're ready to start the next activity. So I want to make sure we're all on the same page though, so we're going to do a quick little check-in. I'm going to ask you guys to put your heads down and close your eyes in a second. During this check-in, you can do this, or squeeze your eyes super tight and rest your head on the table, okay? So everyone, please put your heads down and close your eyes. Now, if you feel confident and ready to move on, please stick your arm up super high and give me a thumbs up. Hands down, please. If you feel like you need a little bit more practice or help during the assignment, please raise your hands super high up and give me a thumbs in the middle. Let's make sure everyone's heads are still down and eyes are closed though, okay? Okay, hands down please. And one final time, we're going to keep our eyes closed and heads down just for a little bit longer. If you feel like you're going to be needing some more assistance and spend some extra time during this assignment with me and Miss Bierke, please raise your hands up and give me a thumbs down. Alrighty, everyone can put their arms down and raise their heads and open up their eyes real big, ready to learn. I noticed we had lots of thumbs up and thumbs in the middle and no thumbs down, which is awesome. I'm going to walk around with Miss Bierke though, and we're just going to check in with everyone one-on-one during the assignment to make sure we're all doing right. Okay, so for this next activity, I want you guys to partner up with your desk buddy. Please raise your hand right now if your desk buddy is not here today. That way we can find you a new partner. Well, isn't that great? Everyone is here today. I'm so happy you all came to class ready to learn and excited for today. For our activity today, we're going to be working with our desk buddies to identify hundreds, tens, and ones on our number cards that Miss Bierke is passing out. While she passes these out, please do not touch them, move them, just leave them right on their desk where she places them, okay? If you feel tempted to move them around, go ahead and put your hands under your bottom, and you can sit on those to stop the temptation, okay? Perfect. So you and your partner will be given 2 different piles of 3-digit numbers. I want you guys to eventually grab one pile or one card from each pile, better yet, and then work together to identify the hundreds, tens, and ones for both numbers. Then you will be able to use Allie the alligator to determine if the first number is greater than, less than, or equal to the other number. You can also use your symbol sheets and play to place in between the 2 cards and then discuss with your partner how you determined if the numbers are greater than, less than, or equal to with the symbol that fits best. Miss Bierke and I will be walking around and stopping at all groups to help you guys out or just listening to see how you're doing, okay? If you have any questions during this activity, please raise your hand up super high and one of us will come over. Once we're all done with our practice cards, we will come back together as a class and go over the answers together. Does this sound all right? Okay, perfect. So before we start, raise your hand quietly if you want to do a practice problem together as a class. Alrighty, I see that the majority of us want to do a practice problem, so let's try that out. Our numbers for this are going to be 372 and then 648. Let's identify the ones value in these numbers. Marcus, do you know what digit is in the ones value of our first number? 2 is correct, yes. This means it has a value of at least 2. Cheyenne, what is the ones value in the second number? No, it's not 6. I loved your try though, that was really good. Our ones value is going to be on the far right. Yes, Cheyenne, 8 is correct. Great work. Now I want you all to discuss with your desk buddy what the tens digit is for both of our numbers. Does anyone want to share with the class what them and their partner discussed? Yes, Enrique, what did you and your partner come up with? Correct, for the first number in our tens value, it is 7. Woo, 7. This means the 7 is representing 70. And then in the second number, 4. Yes, this represents 40. Alrighty, guys. As a class, I'm going to make an exception just this one time, so listening ears on. I want everyone to quietly in our heads identify the hundreds digit in these numbers. And then on the count of 3, we're going to be able to blurt out the number and then go really quiet and zip our lips after we say it. Okay, everyone identify what the hundreds number is in our first number. Are we ready? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 3. Yes! Good work, guys. It is 3. Let's do the second number. Everyone think what it is. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 6. Yes, perfect. Great job staying quiet after sharing the number aloud, guys. Now that we know what our first number represents, it is 372. And our second number is 648. So are these the same numbers? Shake your head, it's not the same number. Good job. So we know it's not equal to. Let's look at our hundreds. Is 3 bigger, so greater than, or smaller, less than 6? Right, it's less than, so we're going to use the less than symbol. Perfect! I loved your guys' effort with this. So in order to make Allie the alligator full, she wants to eat the bigger number. The bigger number starts with 6, which means the 300 number is less than. Do we all feel good about this? Wonderful work. Okay, I want you all to do your practice problems quietly with your partner, and Miss Bierke and I will be walking around to help. You may begin now. Hi guys, are you all getting the hang of it so far? Yes, of course I can help you. Let's check out these numbers, okay? So in order to make Allie the alligator full, she wants to eat the big number, right? Yes. So which number has a higher value in the hundred spot? Yep, the first number does. Great. So Allie will look like this, which means 921 is greater than 853. Now I want you guys to try one on your own, okay? I'm going to stand right here and watch over. Good work, guys. Hi, friends. Let's make sure we explain to each other how we determine which number is greater than or less than, okay? You guys are doing a fantastic job of staying focused. Let's keep up the good work. Alrighty. Hi guys, how are we? Yes, it looks like you're doing great. I'm really proud of you guys. Let's keep putting on a good influence for everyone else. You're doing amazing. Alright, I see that we have all finished up, so I want us to come back as a class and go over our answers, okay? Matthew, will you please share what you and your partner discussed would be the best fitting symbol for our first set of numbers? Correct. In order to make Allie the alligator full, we use the greater than symbol. Sammy, what did your group come up for the second set of numbers? Yes, we use the less than symbol. That is perfect. Can everyone show me what this looks like using Allie the alligator actions? Beautiful, you all did it perfectly. That was right on the dot. I'm so proud of your guys' hard work during this activity and staying quiet and respectful to our peers. Thank you for all staying on task and getting this done. Alrighty, friends, it's that time of the day again. So, as we wrap up, I want us all to make sure we're going to be sitting still and quiet in our seats, okay? Let's shake out our wiggles one more time because we had a busy day, I think. So everyone stay seated and still and reach your hands up super high to the sky. Stretch it out real big. Now shake your hands. Now shake your arms. Now shake your bodies. Great, everyone, put your arms down and please stay still. We got our wiggles out so we can sit down for just a few more minutes. Do I have any volunteers that would like to share with the class what we learned today? Yes, Priscilla, please share with us what we learned. Amazing answer, you are so right. Today we learned how to find the hundreds, tens, and ones in a number. We can use this to compare two numbers and show which is greater or less than, equal to, using our symbols and Allie the alligator. This is important because it helps us understand numbers and solve problems. I'm going to post this up on the board. Can we all try saying this aloud as a class together? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Today we learned how to find the hundreds, tens, and ones in a number. We can use this to compare two numbers and show which is greater or less than, or even equal to, using symbols and Allie the alligator. This is important because it helps us to understand numbers and solve problems. Fantastic job reading that from the board. You all spoke very clear. Now Miss Bierke is going to pass around a little exit ticket that I want you guys to fill out. You guys will need to write down the definition of the symbols you see on the sheets and then act out the hand symbols using Allie the alligator for it. I'm going to give you guys a quick minute to do so, all right? After you're done writing it, please share with your desk buddy your answer, and then we'll finish up the class. You can start now. Okay, let's all come back together now. Do I have everyone's attention? Michael, thank you for paying attention to me. Perfect. So, what we learned today will be able to be used in our everyday lives when comparing things. This could be seen through like comparing prices at the stores with our parents or our guardians or grandmas, anyone, and every other day life activities. Our lesson today also helped with future math classes. So once we're up in high school, we'll be able to do those too. So for one final time, let's say aloud what we learned today. It's still projected here up on the board for us to read from. Today we learned how to find the hundreds, tens, and ones in a number. We can use this to compare two numbers and show which is greater, less than, or equal, using symbols and Ally the alligator. This is important because it helps us to understand numbers and solve problems. That was great, guys. Wonderful work. I am so proud of you all, and I cannot wait until our next class. On your way out, if you would like, you can turn in your exit ticket for a piece of candy. I'll see you all next time.